I'm Julia Wolfe. I'm a composer. I live in New York City, and I write music. I'm often combining music with histories. And in this piece coming up, her story, I am focusing on women fighting for equality, which is a very long story, a very long struggle. So it begins with a letter that Abigail Adams wrote to John Adams, who was our president way back when. She begins, "Dear John, I desire you would remember the ladies and be more generous and more favorable to them than your ancestors." And she goes on, but basically she says, we're going to foment a rebellion if you guys don't figure out how to include our voice. So it's talking about having no voice and her encouraging John, that important moment, 1776, to think about including the voices of women. So it begins there. And there's other texts in between, but I guess it's nice to think about the bookends because it ends with another very important and dynamic figure, Sojourner Truth, who was both an abolitionist and a suffragist. And her words are incredible. She's known as a spiritual leader. She took the name Sojourner Truth for a reason. But she's also known as a very powerful spokesperson for women really early on, like 1850s, in terms of when suffrage just started getting going. So here we are at Symphony Center in Chicago. Our association is to come in and absorb the music, and the music is such an important part of this piece. But we've also extended this concert experience by having theatrical direction. Annie Kaufman is the director, and she has the singers relocating throughout the piece. They're behind the orchestra, they're within the orchestra, they're in front of the orchestra. So you have to guess how we work that out, that they're in front of the orchestra on the other side of the conductor. The story is told by the text and by the singers, but it's also told by the orchestra. So much of the music is delivering the power of these issues. I mean, I sort of think of the orchestra as carrying the emotions that are beyond words, that really kind of move in, and the emotional impact is driven by that huge number of people, huge number of musicians on stage. I hope you can all join me on January 6th and 7th at Symphony Center with the Chicago Symphony, with the women of the Lorelei Ensemble singing, and with the incredible Marin Alsop leading the way. See you there.